A word for you from Proverbs chapter 2 verse 3. Yes, if you cry out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding. Here we read a very common theme throughout the book of Proverbs, the comparison between wisdom and foolishness. And in this particular case, we are told just how we should ask for wisdom. This is a cry for wisdom. It is an earnest, determined effort to seek wisdom. And so we are told here, if you cry out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding. And it continues after that to explain that then you will understand, then you'll get to know God. But you see the attitude of heart that we need to have. We need to be totally focused on seeking wisdom. That means an admittal that we are not wise in ourselves, that inherently we are foolish, we are corrupted. If you start at that point where you admit what you are like with your lack of wisdom, it's then that you begin to seek outside of yourself true wisdom. And we seek God's wisdom in His Word. We ask for His wisdom in prayer, and God promises to give it. If we're humble enough to say, well, Lord, I don't really know. I can't control my future and the next decision. I need you to give me understanding. That is why in the book of James, he writes in chapter 1, verse 5, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. He gives liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. So here James is saying the same thing, and most probably he's just continuing what he has read himself, because they took the Old Testament as their scripture in those days, and he would have read what wisdom is all about. And here we are told a further truth, that God is willing to give liberally. So if you ask from God in the way that it says in Proverbs, totally focused, totally determined, where you cry out for wisdom and discernment, God says He will give, and He gives liberally. That means He gives in abundance. Remember, Jesus says in chapter 10 of John, I've come that they might have life abundantly. So God is not in short supply of wisdom. He has enough for the whole universe. It's we who continue to act foolishly if we think that we don't need God's wisdom, where we can get along in life without Him. But the one who is truly wise is the one who starts by saying, I am not wise. That's where Paul says in Corinthians, if you lack wisdom and if you know that you are not wise, then you can lean on God's wisdom. And then we find out that Jesus has been made unto us the wisdom of God.